Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
We know the rules by now. The guests get a minute to debate some of the biggest talking points that were trending with regards to football on social media this week. And it's a good week, Joe. Lots to talk about.
Yeah.
What are you starting with?
We're starting with Arsenal. Of course we are. We're starting with Arsenal. We've got Specs on the show, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was stripped of the captaincy this week. We've already spoken about him very briefly, haven't we, on the show? But it's multiple disciplinary breaches now, and Matt Law on Twitter pointed out, didn't he, that you have now stripped the captaincy from the guy who took over from the guy who was stripped of the captaincy. Lots of stripping going on at Arsenal over the last few seasons. So the question we want to ask you guys, 60 seconds to answer it, which Arsenal captain let the club down most? Specs, go.
This is tough. I think I'm going to say Gallas. Sitting on the halfway line at St Andrews, with his hands on his knees, and then saying that, the players had no, whatever he said, courage and stuff. I thought that was bad. But then Xhaka, when he got booed, that was bad too. Arsenal have like a few bad captains, so I'm used to it. But I think I'm going to say Gallas, because he had the number 10 shirt.
Dave?
I think, that's a big thing, actually. I forgot that he was number 10.
He was number 10.
As a captain, didn't create many chances. Completely forgot about that. That would have changed my idea. But no, I think I'm going to go with Granit Xhaka. I think the dissent, throwing your shirt away, that means so much to the fans. These people come and watch you week in, week out. They support you, and you've just shown a complete disregard to that. In my opinion, is disgusting. I want to defend Aubameyang a bit as well. Went over to go and help his mother out. I do respect that. Big shout out to my mum as well. She always does a great job. So I've got to give her a bit of respect. And Gallas was just standards.
Yeah.
Just saying you're not good enough, Specs.
Oh.
There we go. So those are the very animated thoughts of
Xhaka,
Dave and Specs there. Very animated
Mum
thoughts.
Dave getting a shout out there as well. It's really nice for the show.
Mum Dave. Right, next trend is about Conor Gallagher. He is, what a player, boy. He's been on fire, isn't he? 6 goals, 3 assists already for Palace, including an absolute screamer against Everton afterwards. I don't know if you saw this, but his post-match interview address was, brilliant. Take a look at this.
That's your second double, six Premier League goals right now.
6 now.
Where has that come from?
So some good finishing. No, to be fair, the last one was, that feeling's incredible. I think I won the ball back, and then I got Christian right behind me telling me to leave it. There was no chance I was leaving it.
Is that easily the best of the 6?
Yeah, I think so.
Love that. I just love how sort of wholesome that is and honest,
so
and how happy is a top bin that finish as well, isn't it? What finish? So the trend we're asking our guests is, will Conor Gallagher break into Chelsea's first team? Of course he's on loan. What do you think, Dave? 60 seconds on the clock.
Yes, he'll break in. I think he's got the quality, played there at youth level, did a really good job as one of the attacking midfielders, adds goals to a midfield as a team that doesn't score many goals. I think 42% of the goals Chelsea have scored this season have come from defenders. That's a big problem. Mason Mount with 7 goals, their top scorer in the Premier League. Gallagher's got 6. Having those 2 guys in that position would be perfect. Also looking at pressures, only Allen in the Premier League has made more pressures than Conor Gallagher. I think he's got to start. I think he'd put him ahead of all the rest of them, to be quite honest.
Ahead of all the rest of them, got to start, says Dave. Do you agree with that, Specs?
I disagree. I think Chelsea have got other players like him, like Loftus-Cheek, and then you've got the Kovacic, the Kante. There's too much competition. And at Chelsea, if he's playing, he has to perform. If not, he gets dropped. So for me, I can't see him breaking in. Because if you're going to break in at Chelsea, you have to play 4 or 5 games. You can't just break in 1 or 2 games. So for me, I can't see him breaking in and holding that position.
Oh, bit of disagreement going on with that. And then Conor Gallagher, there we go. And gone early, disagreement.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea often let those academy players go, even if they do perform well as well, don't they? That's
great season those having.
And Tomori and that will let go too. So it's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? Let's move on to the Champions League draw, which eventually happened, didn't it? Midweek. 2 attempts at it, and we can have a look at the full draw now. Having a look particularly at the English teams.
Draw 2, this was, isn't it?
Yeah, this is draw 2. This is the correct one. City were drawn away against Sporting. We've got Chelsea against Lille. We've got Atletico versus Manchester United. Inter against Liverpool. Some tough draws there. There's also PSG Madrid, which is going to be an absolute banger of a game. So the question we're going to ask you guys, how many of those English teams will qualify for the quarterfinals? Because there's some tough fixtures there. Dave, I'll come to you first, 60 seconds.
I think all 4. First up, Man City, they're going to deal with Sporting Club. Easy. You saw Ajax tear them apart with their ticky-tacky style. And I think then you move on to Chelsea against Lille. You know, Jojo David is a top quality centre forward, but the rest of the team a little bit open this season. Then move into Liverpool, again into player possession style, counter-attacking. Then obviously Manchester United versus PSG. No, wait, Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo, 35 games played, 25 goals, 9 assists, hat-tricks in the Champions League. He's never lost in the knockout stages against Simeone's side. I just think United, they're going to cruise through. Ralph Rangnick, gegenpressing, all that good stuff.
Cruise through.
Yeah, I agree. They all cruise through. I was hoping they did a third draw and they went back to Man United and PSG because I didn't want to see that Ronaldo and Messi battle. But yeah, I think the English teams will overpower those teams. Atletico Madrid, I don't think they're the same.
They've changed.
Yeah, they're not. I don't feel like they're that good anymore. You know, and they scraped through the next to the Champions League. So.
Yeah,
okay. There we go. Very optimistic from the.
Like
to be fair, good draws. I think they're all playing well. So couldn't disagree if all 4 did go through. The next one, it's quite a sad trend. This, Joe. This is about Sergio Aguero forced to retire because of the heart issue that he had, and we saw the press conference where he was in tears. So very sad story. This, and I think what came from this was so many people just tweeting on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere, just how good a player he was. And this stat jumped off the page, by the way. Have a read of this. Sergio Aguero could play another 2,520 minutes of Premier League action without scoring. So that is the equivalent of 28 full games, and he would still have the best minutes per goal ratio of any Premier League player ever. And that's to have scored 20 or more goals. I mean, that is just, when you think of the players that have been in the Premier League over many different eras as well, that is absolutely incredible. So it gave us an obvious trend to talk about this week, and this is our next trend. And it is just, where does he rank in terms of all-time great Premier League strikers? Specs gave us an interesting facial expression there, as if this is a hard one. So we'll come to you first, Specs. 60 seconds on the clock. What do you think, mate?
I mean, Alan Shearer, Rooney, Henry. Aguero has to be in there. But I'm looking at, because I'm trying to think of the way he scores goals compared to someone like Thierry Henry. It's different, isn't it?
Very different.
Where does he rank then? Who's your top 3 of all time? Top 3.
Top 3, I'm going to go Shearer, Henry, Aguero.
Shearer 1, Henry 2, Aguero 3. Where do you rank?
Sir Wayne Rooney, not even involved in the list. I'd put Aguero in 5th, just a bit of a standpoint. I am a Manchester United fan. The stats that really matter are goals scored. Shearer, 260. Rooney, 208. Andy Cole ahead of him at 187. And obviously Thierry Henry got over 20 goals and assists in a single season. So I put them all ahead of Aguero. I think Aguero's record is great, but the fitness was a concern. If he played the same amount of minutes as Alan Shearer and stayed at that 108 minutes per goal, he would have scored 353 goals. But he didn't do that.
Oh,
wow, okay.
I mean, when Dave comes out with the stats, you just can't refute it, can you? You can't refute it.
You know the ones you can't argue with? The miles covered, because you wouldn't know if they're right or wrong.
Yeah, true. Let's be honest. Let's move on to the final trend then. It's about Leeds United. Obviously took a bit of a battering against Manchester City, 7-0, finding themselves 16th in the league, just 5 points above safety. And a few neutrals, I would say, online, just pointing out that Marcelo Bielsa should potentially be under a little bit more pressure than he currently is. Here's Rory saying, at least Leeds play nice football, though. Nearly 13,000 likes on that one, by the way. So the question we're going to be asking is, should Marcelo Bielsa be under more pressure, Dave? 60 seconds.
First up, Rory struggles sometimes with footballing concepts. Nice football, doesn't really get it. So talking Bielsa, I think he's got to be defended a little bit. You look at the squad, we mentioned before about Pochettino. You need to rotate these pressing teams in terms of the squad players. I feel like the Leeds board have let him down. You think about some of the key players, the likes of Calvin Phillips, the likes of Patrick Bamford, injured for the majority of this season. That's 17 goals and 7 assists from Bamford. That's Calvin Phillips that basically controls everything as their regista. It's been a bit unfair to judge Leeds right now. Rafinha's basically carrying the team on his shoulders. Injuries are absolutely rife, but that comes through the recruitment, in my opinion.
OK, Specs.
I mean, I don't want to see Bielsa in this position. I've seen managers like Poch, Pep, talk highly of this guy, like he's the master, the tutor. To lose 7-0 and be playing like this, for me, you got to go now. It's a results business. This is
Bielsa out.
What's he going to do? What's he going to do when Newcastle grab 6-7 players?
That is nuts.
You think he's got to go?
Bielsa's got to go. It's results business.
Honestly.
Wow.
Honestly, it's always neutral fans that have problems with Bielsa. It's never the Leeds fans, which I always think is extremely telling for a manager.
Strong words from Specs there, but we don't expect anything less. But those were our trends. Enjoyed those trends.